as an entrepreneur. I had too many tabs open in my brain at the same time. The strategy tab, the sales tab, the accounting tab, the marketing tab. I was constantly toggling back and forth between tabs, and because of that, I was underperforming on each task and exhausting myself in the process. I was experiencing entrepreneurship by default. Entrepreneurship by default exploits the belief that anyone can be an entrepreneur as long as you answer some common questions. What's your business plan? Have you tried the lean startup model? What's your elevator pitch? In entrepreneurship by default, the questions are all externally focused. And while many of these questions are important, they emphasize what we as entrepreneurs should be doing, not who we are being. Entrepreneurship by design shifts the focus back on the individual, and the conversation sounds more like this. Yes, we will focus on your business plan and your elevator pitch, but let's first and foremost focus on you, the entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship by design starts internally, then moves externally. We shift from feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and burnt out to feeling empowered, expansive, and aligned. But in order to shift to entrepreneurship by design, we must first and foremost close out those open tabs in our brain. Then strategically decide which tabs to reopen before finally delegating the remaining tabs to our business partners and teammates. So let's experience what it feels like to close the tabs in our brain, shall we? Get seated comfortably, uncross your legs. Place your hands in your lap, and if it feels comfortable, please close your eyes. And I invite you to breathe in through your nose and give a nice sigh of relief. Breathe in again through your nose and sigh out. Breathe in again through your nose, sigh out, and with your eyes still closed, just allow yourself to breathe. Feel the air as it swirls in and out of your nostrils. Feel your chest as it rises and falls. Feel your body as it sinks into your chair. Just breathe. Unfortunately, I have to invite you to open your eyes and join me again. How do you feel? What happened to those open tabs in your brain? Did many of them close? You can imagine what we just accomplished in 15 to 30 seconds. Now imagine doing that repeatedly throughout the day or for an extended period of time. Intentional breathing is a simple yet effective way to shift from entrepreneurship by default to entrepreneurship by design. It falls squarely under the self-care umbrella. When self-care is a cornerstone, no, the foundation for your business, everything on your to-do list becomes easier. But don't just take my word for it. A quick Google search will confirm that a constant practice among many of the Fortune 500 CEOs is their daily commitment to self-care. Whether that's meditating, exercising, journaling, or simply making their bed every morning, highly successful people prioritize self-care guilt-free. Once we have taken care of ourselves, it's time to increase our self-awareness. I was a certified coach and a leadership development professional, so I had access to a variety of personality assessments. But it wasn't until I was exposed to the wealth dynamics, first for myself and my team, and later with my clients, that I experienced firsthand the power of shifting from entrepreneurship by default to entrepreneurship by design. Wealth dynamics, created by Roger Hamilton, makes the assumption that we all have the ability to create wealth and abundance as long as we are discerning enough to make that wealth in our own unique way. Knowing that what works for one won't necessarily work for another is crucial. You must know and embrace your own style and then build your business upon that style. And so if you're planning to read every book by your favorite entrepreneur, you better make sure, first and foremost, that that entrepreneur has the same style as you. Otherwise, you're simply wasting your time. And Wealth Dynamics tackles a variety of aspects of our entrepreneurial profile, but for today, we're simply going to focus on energy. As Debbie mentioned, we all know a friend who's full of high energy. And we all know that friend that has the chill vibe. But have you ever thought about building your business based on your energetic profile? I hadn't until I was exposed to Wealth Dynamics. You see, across the top, we have our dynamos. Our dynamos have initiator energy. They like to get things started, but their energy tends to wane as the project unfolds. Our blaze, on the other hand, may sit back and allow others to take the lead, but when we get stuck, they'll dig in and give a big burst of energy. But watch out for the blaze. They have a long recovery time. Our tempos, on the other hand, can metronomically and methodically repeat tasks again and again. And our steel, they're strong and solid. They put infrastructure in place in order to curb any problems that may arise in the future. So if you take this to heart, can you imagine how important it is to know what your energetic style is before you build your business? If you're a dynamo, you'd be setting yourself up for failure if you started a business that required metronomic, repetitive tasks. Give that business to our tempos. And a steel would flounder if they had to engage in large bursts of energy at random points in time. That's much better suited for our blaze. You see, I always thought that I was destined for entrepreneurial failure because I lack stick-to-itness, and I don't like some of those tabs that are open in my brain. And it was once I was exposed to Wealth Dynamics that I realized that I wasn't broken after all. I just have textbook dynamo energy. I'm your gal when you want to get a project started. Once we move on and know ourselves better and know which tabs to open, the third and final important step is to know which tabs to delegate. And one of the best ways to know what to delegate is to create the antithesis of the to-do list, the don't do list. Creating and sticking to that don't do list requires bravery and faith. You got to be brave enough to set your ego aside and ask for help. You have to have faith to believe that the right people are going to come along at the right time. And when those two things happen, it is magical. So if you're someone with steel energy, high on your don't do list is cold calling and networking. As a steel, you could spend time and energy teaching yourself how to cold call, forcing yourself to take some of those classes, or you could spend that same time and energy identifying someone with blaze energy. Then you delegate the tasks to the person with the blaze energy. They get to do what they love, you get to do what you love, and voila, entrepreneurial happiness. So shifting from entrepreneurship by default to entrepreneurship by design requires three things. First, you have to focus on your self-care in order to close your open tabs. Then you need to increase your self-awareness to know which of those tabs to reopen. And finally, you must delegate the remaining important tabs to someone else. And then, and only then, can you go back to focusing on your business plan, your lean startup model, or your elevator pitch. So my question for you today is this: how do you plan to shift from entrepreneurship by default to entrepreneurship by design?